Good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to this webinar on healthy employees, healthy bottom line, wellness programs for small businesses. And I want to thank everyone from Springfield and from the St. Louis area who have joined us definitely on this Workplace Wellness Programs webinar. My name is Bill Ray, and if you're listening to this and have not yet logged into your computer for the visual portion of this webinar to view the slides, please do so, and we'll get started in just the next few minutes.
Hi, everybody. We're going to start here in just a moment. This is Mary Everby with Small Business Majority. We have quite a few people hopping on the line. So if you'll just give everybody just a second to get settled, we will get started with our Workplace Wellness Programs for your small business webinar here. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Bill Ray, and I want to thank you for joining us on this Healthy Employees, Healthy Bottom Line Wellness Programs for Small Businesses. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you have any questions, you're free to type them in the lower left-hand screen, lower left-hand portion of your screen in the chat box. We will get to those questions at the end of this webinar. So first, a little bit about Small Business Majority. We're a national nonprofit 501c3 organization that's been in existence for 11 years, and we have 10 offices across the country. And our focus is on issues of top importance to strengthen small business owners, including people who are self-employed, on issues such as access to capital, workforce issues such as sick day policies, minimum wage, healthcare benefits available to small business owners, retirement security, taxes, and a number of other issues in order to help launch and grow small businesses. Now, what makes us different is that our work is supported by business research. And what also makes us different is we are not a membership organization. There is no fee to be associated or to work alongside Small Business Majority. We are an education, policy, and advocacy organization for small businesses. And just as a side note, we'll talk about this a little later, we do have an entrepreneurship portal, which you can visit at smallbusinessportal.org in your spare time, which actually brings resources and education to you, the small business owner, in key areas of growing your business. So, what works for small businesses? Our polling shows that small businesses are really interested in implementing wellness programs. And we also know and have heard from our small business employees that they are consistently interested in participating in wellness programs. Now, stress followed by weight and fitness issues are top of the list of issues for small businesses when they consider addressing and implementing a wellness program. So here's how we try to help. We help to provide a starting place. Provide, so to say, a wellness plan in a box that would be easy for you to implement as a small business. You want to look at allowing yourself flexibility to design a program that factors in the size and type of business and the needs of your employees. Keep in mind, no two businesses are alike. So with respect to a wellness program or any program that offers an additional benefit to your employees, you really have to size it to fit your business. And you also want to think about allowing the ability to increase or decrease the complexity of your program over time based on how your business grows. And these are things that you want to take into consideration when looking into a wellness program. Now, Big Mary,
Okay,
we're going to continue and talk a little bit about what is a wellness program. So I'll pass it along to you.
All right, thank you, Bill. My name is Mary Overby. I am the Missouri Outreach Manager in the Springfield, Missouri office, as well as the statewide coordinator for our Workplace Wellness Program. So it has been my pleasure to really get to learn a lot about workplace wellness and work directly with small businesses and other health-focused organizations on how to implement. Bill is my counterpart there in St. Louis, and together we are pretty sure we're a force to be reckoned with for workplace wellness. So really happy to be able to present and talk to you guys about all of this today. So we're going to just start with talking about what is a wellness program. In the past, I think that wellness programs have really been looked at as tied to health insurance only and just focusing on biometric screenings. So, employees weren't very happy with those. They weren't something that was really looked at as beneficial by the employer other than simply for reducing healthcare costs, which, as we all know, is a good benefit. But in the past, a couple of years, what we're really seeing is a push towards more of a whole person focused wellness program. And so the statistics that I'm showing you really are looking at a program that's focusing on the employee as a whole person and not just focusing on implementing biometric screening. So we'll talk more about that here in a little bit, what I mean by focusing on the whole person. But just to give you an idea of some of the benefit that they have found that wellness programs have really been able to, the impact that they can make in a small business environment. So one of the big things they're really showing, of course, is that the healthier your employees are, the healthier your workforce is. So your employers would start seeing less absenteeism. So employees were missing less days of work. And not only that, while they were there, they were increasing their productivity. So they were producing more. So they're more often and they're in a better space. A wellness program is simply just a basic investment in your employees. And one really important thing to remember is that wellness programs do not have to be sizable endeavors. We are focusing on this with small business, and we don't often have a lot of money as small business owners. My husband and I are small business owners ourselves, and so when I say us and we, I'm really looking at how we as business owners also view this. We're implementing this wellness programs within our employee range, and so the smaller impact is sometimes enough to make a difference, and then therefore you can start making those larger impacts. But it doesn't have to be big. It can start off small. It can grow as much as you want it to, and it can be very individualized for what your employees like and what you can do as an employer. So the CDC reported lost productivity and absenteeism from sick employees cost employers more than $225 billion annually. Or you're looking at, for that picture there, you're looking at about $6,000 it would cost the employer for just 4 employees. And so the basic fact is that sick employees hurt businesses' bottom lines. And so, a lot of employers provide health insurance, or they've tried multiple different avenues to reduce the amount of impact that sickness has. And workplace wellness programs are really showing that. Research has found that participants in workplace wellness programs are having 25% lower medical costs as well as absenteeism rates. So for those that are not participating in the wellness programs, maybe they're still in the same office space, So it's a really good comparison. Nothing else has changed in their lives other than participating in the wellness program. Those that are participating are showing higher presenteeism and lower medical costs. So I've talked about quite a few of these. Some that I haven't talked about is the first one there, boosting job satisfaction. What they found is that when employers provide a wellness plan that actually focus on the entire employee, it really shows employees that the employer cares about them. And that what they've seen is that it boosts job satisfaction. So that's going to show benefit for the employer with employee retention as well as employee productivity. It also builds a stress-free work environment. We hear a lot that workplace wellness programs are stressful because there's so much involved. And that goes back to doing a workplace wellness program that really fits your environment. So making sure that it's stress-free, it's not undue workload on your employees, and that it's really meant to reduce the stress and benefit them. There are different ways to implement the workplace wellness programs, but what they're seeing is they're really creating a camaraderie amongst employees. We're doing a workplace wellness challenge coming up that we'll talk about in greater detail here later, and we've piloted this within our own program. And it was just amazing. We all work from home offices or across the country, and the camaraderie that this workplace wellness program actually brought to our work environment was really phenomenal, especially considering that normally we're working, via email or maybe by phone. But it can be really beneficial for developing a teamwork. That's why workplace wellness is really great for even if you don't have a traditional team environment. So maybe you work with 1099 or subcontract workers, or maybe you have part-time and full-time employees that don't get to see each other all the time. Maybe you work remotely. The way that you implement a workplace wellness program can really have a positive impact on creating that solid team that's really beneficial for moving forward. We talked about employee retention. They have shown that there are fewer on-the-job injuries with workplace wellness. A lot of that is related to presenteeism, which is where, when an employee is at work and they're focused. So they're maybe not distracted and running into a wall or tripping on steps. A lot of that is also related to obesity. So as people lose weight, they have been shown to have fewer on-the-job injuries. So that's sort of just a basic overview of what is a wellness program and why it's beneficial for your small business. If you are really into data, lucky for you, there is so much data, it's insane on workplace wellness. So feel free to reach out. We're going to throw some resources at you here in just a little bit that you can link into and look at where we got our data, but also just figure out what works for you. So with that, we're going to go on to our next section, and Bill's going to take back over for us.
All right, thank you, Mary. And I think Mary did a wonderful presentation on why workplace wellness is important and how it contributes directly to your bottom line as a small business owner. So we're going to talk a little bit about our approach, the integrated well-being approach. What we're seeing is a shift in wellness programs from just promoting physical health to thinking about the health of employees as a whole and using a more in-depth wellness program to address this line of thinking. The integrated well-being approach typically includes several components. And I think one of the most important things that you have to recognize as a small business owner, one of the most important things you have to recognize as a small business owner is that your employees are very dynamic. They have many facets of their life that they deal with outside of work. So with that understanding, this integrated well-being approach, like I said, breaks down into 4 categories. First is physical health. And that's, everything you think it is. That's about enhancing one's physical fitness. The next portion is about mental and emotional health. And we'll give you resources to balance oneself and make sure that you're centered and focused in your life so that you can commit to the work that you're doing as an employee and contribute to that business. And we're going to talk about financial health and tools to attain financial freedom and success. What some business owners might not always think about is that with respect to your employees and with adults in general, study after study has shown that financial issues are one of the things that contributes most to stress among adults. So if you have in place certain processes or certain programs that will help address potential financial pitfalls or shortcomings that your employees might be dealing with, if you can help them do that, you'll have a happier, healthier employee who will be more productive within your business. And the last part is spiritual health, defined as one's strong sense of self or purpose through their own personal beliefs, principles, values, and ethical judgment. So, that is a very important part of that four-pronged integrated well-being approach that we're going to talk about. Okay, so we're first going to address the mental and emotional health as a part of that integrated well-being approach. As a business, you want to look at being family-friendly, perhaps offering things like flex time or telecommuting, et cetera, so employees can get their job done while also being able to fulfill their family obligations. Once again, your employees are dynamic people. They not only exist there to help you run your business and to contribute to your business, but they have lives of their own. So you want to make sure that you're allowing them that time to be with their family. And a part of that is encouraging your employees to take their vacation time. Recognize that, vacation time is a time when employees get the opportunity to recharge themselves and then come back to work recommitted to do the work that you brought them there for. You want to think about allowing days where maybe you have no meetings. So if you have employees, maybe you pick a day of the week where you have no meetings and your employees can be focused just on the work that they have to do in support of your business. With respect to things like stress management, you may want to provide training for your management for early identification and action on stress-related issues. Maybe look at hosting social events to build strong team relationships. Because the stronger your team is, the more they get along, the better they're going to be able to work together within your business. And you want to allow and encourage physical activity during the workday or provide benefits designed to increase a work-life balance such as elder or child care, flexible scheduling, and maybe even opportunities for advancement for your employees. You might even want to look at potentially offering alcohol management opportunities or programs. Provide healthcare options for alcohol management, counseling, and treatment, and even provide free alcohol cessation, alcohol management programs to employees and their spouses that is hosted by some professional resource. And if there was some issue with finding a resource, I'm sure myself or Mary could direct you to one. Okay, so the financial portion of our integrated well-being approach. And like I said, this should go without saying. An employee's financial health is going to directly affect your bottom line. If they're financially healthy, they're able to commit and come to work happy and ready to do the work that you have for them to do. So you might want to look at holding financial literacy classes. Or, if you don't already provide health insurance, you may want to think about providing health insurance. And we do also a number of webinars and workshops around health insurance and things of that nature. So if you get the opportunity, please go to our website at smallbusinessmajority.org at some point and take a look at the various events that we have around things like health insurance. You might want to look at holding health literacy classes. just so your employees can get the information they need in order to be able to move their financial health forward, healthy for themselves and for their families. And you might want to, if you haven't already, think about providing some sort of retirement security options for your employees. And what I'll tell you is that there are studies that show that employees look at retirement options as only second to health care when it comes to deciding on a new employer to work with. So as far as it being a benefit and a way to attract and retain employees, retirement is a great way to do that. So now we're going to go to spiritual health in our integrated well-being approach. You might want to look at having walking meetings to boost physical activity. And this will help keep your employees awake, alert, less stressed, and more productive throughout the entire day. You might want to think about encouraging your employees to participate in fun activities or in exercise activities like a 5K run in your local neighborhood. You might want to encourage your employees to take the stairs instead of the elevator and have a competition against employees, and see who climbs stairs the most. You might want to look at establishing an ergonomic workstation or institute stretching breaks to reduce the job injuries and boost energy levels in your employees. So now on to the physical health. Health, nutrition, and weight management. You might want to look at providing nutrition education and stock healthy options in vending machines and break rooms. And when you have meetings, make sure you have water there and maybe healthy food instead of chips and things of that nature. You might want to look at, high blood glucose management and screening options for your employees. And also, you might want to encourage your employees to eat a healthier breakfast. And obviously, this isn't something that you can force them to do, but you might look at suggesting it to them. Understand this, your employees are your family. A lot of you with small businesses have employees maybe that have been with you for years, and you're like family. And if they think and know that you care about their personal health and well-being, that's going to make them feel good, make them feel more attached and associated with your business, and they are going to be committed to doing the work that you brought them there to do. So now that I've gone through the types of wellness programs, Mary's going to talk a little bit about developing your wellness program.
Well, Bill got the fun part there because I love all the the hints and the fun stuff and talking about like how do we do this? How do we actually implement? And that is the fun stuff. That's what we want to get to, right? But there are definitely some things that as a business owner you need to focus on as you're building your workplace wellness plan. It's a cycle of what you need to do. We all know those cyclical things, so you're gonna build and evaluate and go back and forth. So we will be sending you a copy of our Workplace Wellness Toolkit that has all of this information in it. So please don't feel like you have to write any of this down. It's going to come to you, and it's actually going to be a lot more detailed and help guide you through the process. So the first thing you want to do as a business owner is you want to get other people working with you on your team. We call them, you find a person that's your health champion, and this person sort of guides the process of the Workplace Wellness Program as well as does a lot of the communication. They become that point of contact for both you as an employer and as well as for your team. Sometimes that's an HR person. Not all of us have HR people, but sometimes even when you have HR, they may not be the one that is able to take this on or even wants to. So find out who in your workforce is actually interested in this topic. And then enlist the support of management. Workplace wellness programs have been shown that if they have the buy-in of the management, they have much more chance of success. So you really want to make sure that the management is on board and that they're participating if you're doing any kind of challenges. But the more management support you have, the better off you're going to be and the longer your plan is going to last. So the other thing that you want, the other person you really want to have on your team to bring to the table, and this is something we do at Small Business Majority a lot, is we coordinate with local resources. So we don't provide a lot of direct services, but there are so many amazing resources within our communities that do. And so when we work with small business owners, while we may not be able to help them directly, we normally try to make sure we know someone who can. So that's a really key thing for you when you're developing the workplace wellness program, making sure that your employees are aware of the local resources that are available. So are there free yoga in the parks that you can let them know about? Here in Springfield, we have the Greenway Trails. So providing a map to your employees for the Greenway Trails so that they know where all they can go walking, where they can take their kids, maybe what parks are available. Just know what's out there. Talk to your local health department and even your city, because a lot of them are really focusing on workplace wellness. And then you want to set your goals. So really, what do you want to see as the benefit? Where's the impact at for you? So your key outcomes can be any of these things or all of them. So it really is just a matter of why are you implementing and what's the change you want to see. Do you really want to see your employees lasting longer? Some people have high turnover rates just based on their field. And we own a landscaping company, so it's hard to keep employees doing landscaping. It's a really hard job. So that's something that we hope to see out of our workplace wellness program. Reducing healthcare costs, decreasing absenteeism. So if you have employees maybe that are missing a lot of work, maybe this workplace wellness program can help decrease that. So you could set that as one of your goals. Or is it just you want to increase employee morale or build your team? A lot of the businesses that are involved in our challenge are there because they want to build their team camaraderie. And so that's a great goal. And it really will, you'll see the benefit of that in other places as well. So then you create your timeline, step 3. This one's a tricky one because there's no perfect timeline that's going to be right for everybody. It's very individualized and it's really based on your employees. The challenge that we're doing is 8 weeks. And when we piloted the program, we did it for 8 weeks. And we found at the end of it, everybody loved it, but they were like, and we're done with the challenge. Like, we want to continue with workplace wellness, but not in a challenge format. So it's okay to create a timeline that has different activities and utilizes different techniques. And that actually gives some variety and allows people to not get stale, because one of the things within a workplace wellness program is it can get stale. So create your timeline beforehand. Make sure that the timeline is not going to be so packed that it's going to cause a lot of stress on your health champion or other people on that team. And don't forget that your company is unique. I'm sure you knew that. But don't forget that when you're developing a workplace wellness program, the ideal one fits your company so that your company can fit it. All right, and so then assessing your needs. This one is very simple, but we often forget to do it. The key to developing a workplace program that your employees like is asking them what they like and then seeing if you can implement it. So the CDC has a really great assessment that they use, the health needs assessment. And so you can go online, and like I said, we have that link later in our resources page directly to that. And you can download that and just pass it out and allow everybody to fill it out. And that'll give you an idea of what people maybe want to see implemented. Are they wanting to focus on having healthier food at meetings, or would they like to have some standing desks, or maybe do some more walking meetings, or would they like to have a, one of those personal relaxation spaces made available? Really find out from them what's important, because if you put in a relaxation space and nobody wanted that, it's not going to get utilized. So this step can save you time and save you money, which are both invaluable. Obviously, you can do a suggestion box, informal kind of conversations, online surveys, but they do normally recommend, having one-on-one conversations with your employees, but also allow an anonymous survey response kind of thing as well. So if you use it online, make sure it's an anonymous response so that people feel really comfortable actually talking about what they want. So here's just a little bit more on assessing your needs. Some of those questions, if you don't want to use the CDCs, you can always pick and choose the questions that work for you. There are a lot of questions on that survey. And so it can be very intensive, and some people may not like to do that kind of stuff and may not even answer it or may give up after the first 10. So if you want to pick some of the ones that are really important to you as a business owner and fit with your targeted goals, then use those and pull those out. So these are some, that are probably the more common ones that you see on assessments. And so if you're going to pare down, this is a really good guide on maybe how to pare that down. Okay, preparing your environment. Now you're actually starting to get into the nitty-gritty of getting ready to go and develop your workplace wellness program. And so preparing your environment actually includes a couple of different things. One thing it includes is policy work. So if you have an employee handbook or if you have any kind of written policies in place, you want to review those. If you need to review those with your lawyer or with your HR person, or if it's just you who's doing it, just make sure that you look back on those and that you're going to be either, if you need to add something or change something or just enhance it. A lot of times we see this on tobacco or alcohol policies. That's where people are going to need to make changes. Or if, like Bill talked about, doing flex time. So if you're going to add flex time into your workplace wellness program, you're going to want to go back and include that in your policies as well. So it's lined out and people are really aware of how to implement it and how not to break the rules or bend the rules or anything like that. Environment also includes, hanging up posters. This is so much, people have decorating ideas, and oftentimes the workplace wellness posters that are available don't really fit in with a decorating idea. But if you have a place like your, a lunchroom or a meeting room or something where you can hang up, one of the food portion plates that the CD has available, or the map of a trails or parks near you that you can hang up, or if there's an upcoming event, just so that employees are aware of that kind of thing. Updating food choices or things like vending machines and whatnot, make sure that that's available if you need to prepare that and get that turned over, if you need to maybe add a small refrigerator so that people can bring in things like yogurt or fruits and keep those fresh longer, then that's part of your physical environment. And then providing those places to exercise or relax. This is sometimes the last step that we look at because it can be a lot more intensive and we don't always have this space available. So if it's something you can do, just know that this is sort of where you get started in that. You want people to be able to get comfortable using their new environment as early as possible. Okay, so developing your program. This goes back to really what Bill was talking about when he was talking about the integrated well-being plan. An ideal program is going to mix and match from all of those components. It's going to follow your assessment and really, follow your environment and your assessment and what you can do as a business owner. But if possible, you want to hit as many of those components, of those 4 components as possible. Now, if you do go out and do some research on workplace wellness, which I highly encourage you to do, especially if you have tons of extra time, but you'll see it sometimes as 6 core components or 5 core components. It's all the same kind of concept. Sometimes things get broken up. So just know that as many of those as you can sort of pick and choose from, so you're not just focusing on changing the food in your break room. Change the food in your break room, allow for walking meetings or standing desk, allow for a place for relaxation or maybe increase the amount of family time that people can have, and then provide financial literacy classes. So try to hit as many of those as possible. Now, we talk about promote family fitness. I really want to point out that not everybody has a family that they're going to be getting fit with. Some people's children are grown and gone. Some people do not have children. Some people, everybody's scope is different. We talk about promoting family fitness because that's sort of what's said at the national level. So the national level really wants to promote family fitness. So we really want you to be aware of that, because that is very important. I have 2 kids. I have a 9-year-old and a 20-month-old. So for me, I'm always looking for ways that I can incorporate them into my activities, because that's what I enjoy. I like being able to take them to the park and go for a walk, or I like being able to take them to a work event so that they can meet my coworkers or people that I know. And so that's great for me, but it's not perfect for everybody. So also make sure that your employees are being promoted with community fitness activities. They found that people who work out together and socialize together tend to have a greater lasting impact, and they maintain those routines and programs for a lot longer. This goes back to a little bit of what I was talking about earlier with the posters. That's one component of a communication strategy, but it's a lot of different things that you can do for a communication strategy, and this is really, really important. Your health champion is going to do a lot of this, but it's also really important for your managers to be a part of this as well. You want to utilize multiple communication methods, so maybe emails, if you guys do Slack or Trello or text, or if you have a Facebook page, whatever you do within your organization, think about how you can use that to increase the communication surrounding workplace wellness as well. Hang up posters, allow people to hang up posters that they find important, or of events, things like that. And you want to continue communication throughout the program. So it's really important not just to get started on this program and then let it die off. You want to develop that communication strategy that's going to follow your timeline. And even if you're taking a break from workplace wellness, be thinking about how to communicate about wellness during those breaks. And breaks are okay, by the way. And then create communication you can use for extended periods of time. Really, the whole thing about workplace wellness and doing it effectively is that it's not an overburden on any person. So if you create something, try to make it timeless so that it can be utilized more than once, or it can be easily recreated or reworked for another event. That's going to reduce the amount of time that both you and your health champion or managers have to spend on communicating. This is one, providing incentives. I think I love incentives. Hopefully you guys do too, but they do caution overusing incentives. So while these are a really important component and some people thrive with having incentives provided, just know that you don't want to wear out the welcome of the incentive. So these are just some really fun ideas of ways that you can host competition without having to input money. At SPM, we are really all about low cost, no cost, effective methods. So how do you implement workplace wellness without a huge bang on your buck? So no soda or fast food for a month. I'm glad that we haven't done that one here at Small Business Majority, because I don't know if I could make it. But that is a great way to get healthier. A 5K run right now is the season for 5K runs, and it's going to last throughout September. And then you start having the Thanksgiving runs and the holiday runs. So these are a fun way to get some people together, and you can do a walk run or a couch to 5K or things like that. You have a pedometer count competition or bike to work week. There are a lot of different rewards you can do as well. Paid time off tends to be a really popular one. So winners of competitions, instead of having to just utilize earned time off, they can also get that paid time off as well. Gym memberships are a really great reward because that continues the workplace wellness program as well. And then VIP parking. I mean, everybody loves really good parking places. So the more creative you are on this, the more fun you have. This is really where you can have a lot of fun and be very creative with the kind of competitions you're hosting as well as the rewards. And then celebrate your success. And this is so important. That first bullet is so important. The entire team counts. So even if people are not participating in workplace wellness, your goal with a lot of this may be to develop the entire team camaraderie. And so just make sure that to not just talk to the teammates that are participating. Host celebration activities throughout the program. So, but just make sure that you're including, even in those celebrations, people who are not participating in the wellness program. And then as you evaluate, work to find out maybe what would help them participate for the next round. Sometimes it is really hard to get employees to join in workplace wellness, and I think that's one of the biggest problems that employers face is what if they don't like it, and what if they don't participate? If they don't, it's okay. Then you start back over and figure out why. And the biggest step here was that step 4 with the assessment and figuring out what they will participate in. An employee goes through multiple stages of wanting to participate and actually get healthier. So not everybody is at that stage at the same time. So that's why having a long-running workplace wellness program is very important and trying different techniques. Just a few tips to keep your employees involved. Keep reminding them of the benefits. As employers get healthier, you really might not have to remind them of the benefits, but it is okay to talk to them about the benefits for your business as well. Make it easy to be involved. You know, the easier it is, the more participation you're going to get, and provide those incentives. And then let people share success stories as well. Okay, so I've talked about evaluation multiple times in my section here, and that's because it is super, super, super important. Just like assessment, evaluation is not fun. It's not something everybody wants to do, but it's really important to make sure that you have a really effective workplace wellness program that's going to last and have participation. There are a lot of evaluations out there as well. The CDC does have evaluation materials already prepared that you can utilize. But these are just some sample guideline questions that you can use as well. This is going to help you reevaluate any of the programs, find out sort of what worked, what didn't. Did people participate in this? Did they like participating in this? Would they prefer something else? Did we meet our goals? Did my absenteeism rate actually decrease? Do I see a greater impact with team camaraderie? So go back and look at your goals that you set out and see if you actually met those. We are not legal people by any means, but we always, everywhere I looked, I really wanted, I saw a lot of the legal considerations. So we wanted to just make sure and put this in here. Just a few quick highlights. Workplace wellness programs must be voluntary, non-discriminatory, reasonably likely to promote health or prevent disease, and protect confidential information. If you are implementing a full workplace wellness policy, highly recommend you have someone look at that who is a legal representative, so attorney or other legal representative that can help guide you in that process to make sure that everything you're implementing does follow these guidelines. So with that, I know that was a lot of steps. Like I said, they are outlined in a lot more detail in the toolkit that we'll be sending you. But we really want to get into the last part here. We're going to talk to you. I talked to you a lot about resources. Bill's going to go over a couple of those, and then we're going to get into the Workplace Wellness Challenge just so you all are aware of that and hopefully can participate. So Bill, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you, Mary. And now that Mary has gotten everybody sufficiently excited about developing your own Workplace Wellness Challenge, now we want to direct you to some resources potentially that you could refer to that could give you more information on how you set your program up. Mary mentioned this earlier, and we have the link here to our small business portal website where you can find our toolkit. We're also going to email that to you so you have it to refer to. And you can get online and also register for upcoming events through Small Business Majority. There's a lot of work that we do, which I expressed earlier in the presentation. And we also want to hopefully get you interested, if you haven't already, to sign up for our Healthy Business, Healthy Community Workplace Wellness Challenge. And here's the link. It's at smallbusinessportal.org/benefits/wellness/workplace wellness challenge. So we hope you go there. And if you haven't already, consider signing up for that and get your employees excited about it. So we're just going to go, I'm going to fly through a couple of these resources, and of course you'll get this presentation via email, so you'll have a chance to get more into them. Here's some national wellness resources for small employers. You have the CDC's website, and they offer some great promotional toolkits around workplace health and workplace wellness. The American Heart Association, of course. I won't try to read that entire URL to you, but like I said, you will get it in this PowerPoint. We'll send it to you. National Wellness Resources, SHRM Foundation, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has a great site on workplace wellness, and the Wellness Council of America. So that's another great resource for you to go to. Now, if you want to talk about looking at some local wellness resources for small businesses, healthcare collaboration for rural Missouri, if you're in the Springfield-Joplin area. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, they have a tremendous amount of information for you to get, and so I would definitely suggest that you take a look at the information that they offer. University of Missouri Extension, who's also one of our sponsors for our Workplace Wellness Challenge, and we're happy to have them on board. They have a great deal of information about workplace wellness. Kansas City Chamber of Commerce as well. So now I'm going to pass it back to Mary, and Mary's going to get you even more excited about joining our Healthy Business, Healthy Community Workplace Wellness Challenge. So back to you, Mary.
I have had multiple meetings today where people were talking about this event, and every time they say, man, that's a mouthful. So if you're going to be involved, you have to call it the full name just so that we can all be tongue twisted together. But yes, the Healthy Business, Healthy Community Workplace Wellness Challenge. And this is something that our grant funding has provided. And it's a challenge format, which is really great with bringing some people maybe to the table for your workplace wellness program that wouldn't necessarily be involved otherwise. People who maybe are already healthy or exercise a lot, they don't need to lose weight, so they don't want to do a Biggest Loser competition, but they like a challenge. And so what we've seen is about, honestly, a 50-50 split of men and women signing up for this within our workplaces. So it's really reaching out to all populations. We are competing here in Southwest Missouri. So the Springfield area and the Joplin areas are competing against businesses in the St. Louis area up there with Bill. Our focus is small businesses less than 100 employees. We like to really connect businesses. As we said, we want to make sure that local resources are well utilized and known about, and so we also want to promote local business because local business is the backbone of the economy. We are going to be using the Wellables online platform for free, and we're going to have prizes based on team averages. So prizes are being provided by local sponsors, and we do have some really great local sponsors. You can go onto our Workplace Wellness Program page and see who those are. There's going to be lots of fun prizes out there. So who should join? Anybody with less than 100 employees in those three target areas. Surrounding area is sort of vague, and really we work with the organization or the business to make sure that you fit within that grant guideline, and be happy to talk to you if you think maybe you're on the border. Make sure that you do fit within that. Hopefully we are always striving to secure grant funding moving forward, and we'll try to increase our reach in future challenges. So if you're in one of those outlying areas, you're not in one of those three, please let us know so that we know for future grant purposes that you're interested and would like to be involved. We do want to make sure that everybody is aware that this is a free opportunity. So it's a really great time for businesses to try something out without an initial monetary investment. So if you think that maybe workplace wellness is going to work, but you're not real sure and you're not ready to dump any money into it, this is a good chance to try that out and see for sure if it's going to. And then it's for anybody who's really wanting to expand a wellness program. Maybe what you already had wasn't working, or maybe it's gotten stale. You want to sort of see how you can revive that. So you want to learn some new methods and really see what your employees will want to do to participate. So this is a great opportunity to once again try that out without any more monetary investment and see what might work. So some important dates to know. On April 20th, we recorded a Wellable Challenge onboarding webinar. Anna with Wellable, who's our contact there, is amazing, and did a webinar for us that talks about how to register and then how to navigate the online portal. It's really, really easy, but what we found in our pilot was that people didn't realize that some of the features were there, and so they weren't getting all the points that they could be getting. And so we recorded this webinar this time so that everybody had the opportunity to know how to fully utilize that online portal and make sure they were getting the most points that they possibly could if that's what they wanted to do. So if you have employees and you want to find out if they're interested in doing the challenge, this is a good video to show them. It's 15 minutes, so it's not a huge time investment. And we did that as well on purpose as well because we know you guys are all super busy. Then we also are having kickoff events in each of our challenge areas. So Joplins was yesterday, right? Yes, yesterday. Today is Wednesday. And it was amazing. We had a really great time. All the businesses from the Joplin area were there and represented, so it was really nice getting to meet some of our participants there in Joplin area. In Springfield, we're actually going to be doing our kickoff on Friday at 1 o'clock. So if you're in the Springfield area and you are thinking about joining up on this challenge, feel free to come join us. You can get more information on that event at that link there. And then St. Louis is going to be May 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning at the, Bill, jump in here.
At Tiny Little Monster. At Tiny Little Monster.
Okay, thank you. I knew it was Little Monster, and I was like, oh, I love her name, but I didn't want to get it wrong. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. So Tiny Little Monster there in the St. Louis area. We don't have a link for registration yet, but we will be getting that up very soon. So feel free to check back in on our Eventbrite page or as well on our website portal because it'll be there. The challenge itself starts next Monday and runs through 8 weeks through July 9th. On July 10th, that Monday, we're going to start doing our celebration events, and that's where we're going to sort of give out prizes and awards for the team that won. Obviously, you know, Southwest is probably going to be it. Bill thinks it's going to be St. Louis. We'll see on July 10th, and all of the participating teams will get prizes there. In order to get signed up, you can sign up your business by contacting Bill or I directly or going to that link and filling out the registration form. The next step is to sign up both yourself and your employees on the Wellable portal. So there is a multi-step process there. So make sure that you realize that you have to do both steps in order to get people signed up, and send your employees to the correct link as well. And make sure your employees have those onboarding webinars available, attend special events and get to know some of the other people involved, set up a walking meeting, or maybe a time to go to the park and take a walk, get to know some of your Healthy Business Challenge neighbors. And the last step is the most important, which is have fun and get healthy. That is our goal here with all of this as well. So this is sort of the portal that we're going to be utilizing called Wellable. And their focus is, are you ready to get Wellable? This will be a really great resource for you guys as a small business, and I hope that you really enjoy working on it. So with that, I'm going to pass back to Bill. I just want to thank you, Bill, for coordinating this today and providing this information, and I'll let you finish this up.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Mary. I want to thank everyone who's joined us today. Hopefully you've gotten a great deal of good information and you are getting excited about implementing a workplace wellness program within your business to get your employees fired up, get them healthy, and get them really contributing and becoming really devoted to the work that they do within your business. Now, as far as Small Business Majority is concerned, we are an education, advocacy, and research organization. So once again, there is no fee to be involved with the work that we do. So we want you to stay engaged with us and with the information that we put out in order to support small businesses. So you can receive our newsletters. You can engage by attending our webinars, getting great information that we provide to small businesses. If you were interested around issues having to do with small businesses, you might be interested in putting together a letter to the editor or an op-ed. And keep in mind, because we work so closely with small businesses, we have our communications department that can actually assist you in that process. And lastly, I want to go ahead and plug our social media accounts. You can find us on Facebook at Small Business Majority, and you can also find us on Twitter at SMLBizMajority. So we hope you link up with us there. We are getting close to time. I know a couple questions already. I have one question so far. But we're going to give you just a moment or two to enter in any questions that you might have in the lower left-hand chat box, and we will return in about, 60 seconds. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will hold on for a couple of questions.
Bill, here's a good question that just came in. They said, which of the components of the well-being plan were the most important? So the integrated well-being approach, Emma, do you want to take that one since that was your expertise there for that?
Oh, you can go ahead and tackle that. I got one question that I think actually a business owner that I'm very familiar with wants to ask. So you go ahead and tackle that, and I got the next one.
Okay, cool. So the answer to the most important component for the integrated well-being approach is really going to be unique to you and your work environment. For some workplaces, it may be the physical. If you're wanting to increase energy and reduce obesity within your workforce, that may be it. For some, it may be the nutrition, and for others, it may be financial. So that's going to go back to the assessment portion and figuring out which one is really the top need for your specific business. So that's a really great question. I get that a lot. But it really is just very, very dependent on you and your employees.
Okay, great. Like I said, I do have a question here from Teresa in St. Louis, and it's actually a very good question. She asks, "What if I'm self-employed and have no employees?" Well, my answer to that is that you are the most important employee in your business if you have no other employees. So your health and wellness is more important than anyone associated with that business if it's just you. And the great thing about implementing a workplace wellness program for your business, especially if you're thinking about expanding your business and at some point hiring people, if you already have that in place as a benefit to potential employees, that's something that potential employees are going to look kindly upon. They're going to look at it as, you're a forward-leaning, forward-thinking company that really cares and wants to bring on employees and help them improve their health and wellness and be very productive within your business. So that would be my question to that, or my answer to that. What if I'm self-employed? You're the most important employee in your business if you're self-employed. So we are just about out of time. Just got 1 minute left, so we're going to close this out. Once again, I want to thank everyone so much for joining us. Again, my name is Bill Ray, Outreach Manager in St. Louis for Small Business Majority. If you have any questions or would like to get in contact with me, you can reach me directly at 314-718-0377. or via email at wray@smallbusinessmajority.org. Mary Overby is our Missouri Outreach Manager in Springfield. You can reach her directly at 417-872-9924 or at moverby@smallbusinessmajority.org. Once again, find us on social media, and we do appreciate everyone joining us today. Hope you got some great information, and hope you join our wellness challenge and have fun and get your employees on board too. So everyone have a great day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bill. Have a great day, everybody.